Oh, we did it, everybody. We made it through the daunting WWE offseason that was Wednesday and Thursday. And the new season of WWE has finally premiered after 48 hours. And we all just watched it go down on Fox. It is Friday the 13th. Ooh, welcome in to the Sportskeeda Wrestling Facebook page and the Wrestle Binge by Sportskeeda YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on Smack Talk. We are here every Friday night, most Friday nights, I should say. Rick Ucchino, SP3, the wrestling legend himself, Dutch Mantell. Gentlemen, how are we doing? We should have dressed up a little bit. It's a season premiere, for crying out loud. Season premiere here, Dutch.
Well, you are right. And talking about the show, we'll talk about that in just a minute. But my initial perception is it was just an okay show. Nothing spectacular happened. I don't think no alliances changed. But that's the way they do things. So let's see where they go from here.
You can get.
You know what confused me is the hiring of Aldis. I knew it was coming, but I think we'll have those two end up feuding too. We'd almost have to give them 6-8 months.
I mean, SP3. We'll talk about Nick Aldis and what the trickle down of him becoming the new SmackDown general manager and Adam Pearce now getting promoted to the Raw general manager. Look, bottom line is this is something that's been needed, I think, for a lot of reasons. This is going to work out better actually having two separate authority figures instead of Adam Pearce running, both the offense and the defense, shall we say, playing both sides of the field here. So especially when the draft rolls around, I think this is going to be something that is going to come through big here. But yeah, man, it wasn't that long ago that Nick Aldis was, tearing it up in the ring, and now here he comes to WWE, and now he's going to be an authority figure. I don't know. It's hard for me to tell what they're going to be doing with Nick Aldis, if he's going to remain an authority figure, if he's going to end up getting in the ring at some point, but it's an interesting development. It's nice to see him on screen as an on-screen character. At least it's a start.
I'm very happy to see Nick Aldis back on our TV screens, and him in WWE I think has been something that I've kind of foreseen for a while, because he just has the look, the presentation that just fits on WWE. So immediately when he came on the screen as the new on-screen general manager, it just fit, and it just instantly gave me vibes of like a young William Regal in NXT. I think that's kind of the role that he's going to play, kind of not getting involved too much until maybe we get a heel that gets physical with him, and then we can see him back in the ring. So that door is open, unlike a lot of the other authority figures that we've had on the main roster in the past. With Nick Aldis, this is the guy that held the NWA World Heavyweight Championship for over 700 days. He was just in the main event of Impact Slammiversary in July. So he's an active wrestler. So we have that option that you have the stories that you can open up, and Dutch knows about that. Dutch has played pretty much every role in wrestling. So having these different roles, it creates different story avenues for WWE. So I like the addition of Nick Aldis as the general manager of SmackDown. And I think it's also a move to create identities for each show, because all the cross-pollination that's going on of Jey Uso quit SmackDown and then he's on Raw, but now he's back on SmackDown because he has the tag team title, and the tag team titles can go on both shows, but not everybody can go on both shows. But Dom has the NXT North American Championship, but he's able to be on SmackDown. Like, it's very confusing on the talent and everything. So I would understand, like, if it was a call from like the networks of USA and Fox, like, y'all got to make this different somehow. So general manager is probably the simplest way they can do that.
Stephen Chambers in the chat saying, kind of disappointed, not really a good reception for Aldis. Guessing there's fans that have never heard of him. Yeah, I mean, look, and this is something I'll talk about later. I was at Fastlane this past weekend in Indianapolis. They put Jade Cargill on the screen, and there were people in the crowd who had no clue who she was. Genuinely. So yeah, you go to these shows, these are casual fans who are going in there. They're probably not familiar with Nick Aldis. They're going to be people who aren't familiar with Jade Cargill, which is why I think what they're doing with Jade is really, really smart, and we'll get to that later. We get your super chats in, get your comments in. We'll get to as many of them throughout the show as possible. Guaranteed to get your comment read on the air is by doing what Nasir here just did, sending us a super chat. First time checking you guys out. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Like the video. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel or the Facebook page, do you subscribe to Facebook pages? I don't know. If there's a button, click it. Subscribe, subscribe it.
Click it. Just click like
Thumbs
crazy.
Up. Do it.
Then send some money. That's all you gotta do.
We appreciate you tuning in, Nasir. Ozzy in the chat, as always, appreciate it. Where was Roman's other title belt? I actually think they have quietly retired those now. I feel like they've just left them home. Maybe occasionally they'll showcase them as, you know, like trophies of his, but I think they've quietly just let those titles go by the wayside. Thankfully, I think Paul Heyman was like, please don't make me carry these around anymore. 3 is too much.
Now I wonder if this new title absorbs the lineage of the WWE Championship, because that'd be a shame if the lineage died with the title being retired.
I haven't looked at WWE.com anytime soon, as far as like what that is. But now that they've like officially like merged these belts together, my theory is still that when Roman drops that belt, whether it's next month, next year, 2027, whenever it finally goes down, I think the lineage of the Universal Championship is just going to kind of like fade away, and then it'll just be the WWE Championship lineage, because it's that Universal title that started Roman's reign. So that's the one they have to keep going for him to be at 1100 some odd day. What, 1134? Is that what Corey said we were on right now? So that's my theory anyway, but I still think we got some time before we figure that one out.
Answer me this.
Yes.
What is Roman's, what is his count? 1,134 days.
I believe.
And what is the record? Bruno?
It's 7 years. It's Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, 7 years.
We're
yeah.
still 4 years away.
This is why we're still in the third inning, Dutch.
Yeah, we are. Really. That'd be a lot of wins. But what I like tonight, you know, the show it wasn't a bad show, but it wasn't a blowaway show. It was a good show. But like Sid said, they did open a bunch of doors.
Yeah.
They got so many doors to go through, windows to climb out of, everything, because this is all open. To me, I've always said, if it makes sense, then it'll probably work to some extent. And they're looking like we are every week for something that they can exploit. I was going to say something about LA Knight, but I thought the people was they were hot, but they weren't hot as I thought they would be for him. I think he kind of cooled off a little bit. I did catch him one time talking. You could almost read his lips like, I said, damn. But they had a pretty good match, though. They really did.
Yeah, we'll get into all that. Yeah, go ahead, SP3. Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think I'm the high man. I actually enjoyed this episode. I actually thought it was entertaining, and this is not. It's not the same thing that I look for in every wrestling TV show. In WWE, if they have an eye on the future, I'm willing to be like, okay, that was a good show. And this show definitely had an eye on the future, unlike the past few weeks where I've been like, it's been like devoid of any life. Like this had life, and it was like, it was all focus on this is a season premiere, and we're gonna point you towards what's coming next. So I like that.
Yeah, this was one of those shows where I'm watching it, getting more excited about what's coming up down the line than I am what I'm currently watching. And that happens from time to time, and I'm like, oh damn, okay, we getting Roman and LA Knight, let's go. Oh shit, we're getting a Cody and a Roman well, forget LA Knight, let's go. Let's speed this shit right up. Let's get going. Let's get the Roman Cody rematch. I'm ready. Let's fire this up. Oh, Charlotte and Jade Cargill. That's going to be fun whenever they get to that 2 years from now. But
now that's WrestleMania, folks. It's WrestleMania, folks.
WrestleMania 29.
Nah, it's WrestleMania
2029.
You guys wanted it.
Yeah.
This is what all you fans were saying.
Y'all wanted it. Here it is.
Yeah. Here you go. Jade's gonna win the Royal Rumble. Charlotte's going to get number 15 on EO, and we're getting Charlotte and Jade for the WWE Women's Championship at Mania.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Before we get to the show, Jacob with a question here. Might as well address it. Everybody's been talking about him this week. Do you all think that CM Punk will come back at Survivor Series in Chicago?
He ain't got the memo?
No.
Oh.
CM Punk is not going to be coming back at Survivor Series in Chicago. And I believe WWE went out of their way to make that point by talking to Sean Rossap for Fightful.com. He spoke to higher ups from WWE this week. They were adamant that there is no current contract negotiations with CM Punk right now. And whether it is Sean Rossap, whether it was Dave Meltzer, whether it's PW Insider, anybody who has talked about CM Punk this week, they all stressed right now, this moment, which means the door is not closed on him coming back. But I think WWE, Dutch, is doing something smart here. They are trying to get it out there. Do not expect CM Punk in Chicago. Don't expect it, and don't get mad at us when he doesn't show up in Chicago.
Well, I predicted he would, the way things were going. But if you really look at the landscape of WWE, what are you going to do with him right off the bat? I mean, it's a packed roster. You're going to have to move somebody over or do this. And there's a lot of guys I don't think he just fits with. So I think CM Punk at this point, if they pick a spell or a spell comes where WWE gets a little bit of like stale, they may hop over there and grab CM Punk for maybe a year run. I think he's at 47 right now, and WWE looks at age as everybody, like pro football. They how much service time will we get from him? And I think when they let this time go by, if they promote him right, I think he'll be hot, and he may be like the territories used to do. If your territory went down, you brought people in. They may not stay there long, but it at least brought the territory up. I think CM Punk falls right in that category. So like somebody needs a partner. I got the perfect guy, and you kind of say, we got this mystery guy coming in, and then it's Punk. People will go through the roof, and then they'll take it from there, see how they handle it. But I do think Punk will end up eventually in WWE.
Yeah, right now, SP3, doesn't have any leverage. WWE is as hot as they've ever been. They're selling tickets, ratings are up. They don't need him right now. And
what I'm saying.
What
exactly? Actually, they would do him more harm by bringing him in now than waiting.
We also have to also talk about the whole part where Fightful talked about the top stars that might be against CM Punk coming in, and I don't think it's out the world of speculation here with this latest report of WWE rejecting him to say that maybe Roman and Seth and them were like, no, we don't want him to come back. No, we don't want to work with him, because when you look at WWE right now, I just did the count in my head. They got 13 guys they use as main eventers. 13. And you expect CM Punk, who just got done given his own show, given 2 world title reigns, and he still found a way to get mad and get upset out of that situation. You expect him to come into WWE right now when they're riding high and him to take his ego back and play a team, be a team player, and not have a top position, or him come in and take someone else's top position?
That's right. I tried to tell you guys.
I don't know how that would be a smart move for WWE. I think this is one of the smartest moves by WWE.
Sid is blasting you right now. Okay, I'll give you his number later. Who said? Well, you'll find out. Okay, see you, man.
Yeah, no, this is just one of those things.
No, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
I mean, they got a lot of top guys. And I keep bringing this up. A year ago, we were saying there's nobody on that bench. Brother, did they fill that bench in? big time.
Yeah,
And just adding CM Punk,
still,
and he'd be a good name.
They don't main event Gunther right now. Like he's not like a main event.
He's in that next up position. It's like Gunther and Drew McIntyre and all these guys that are like, I just counted the people that they regularly use as main eventers on Raw, SmackDown, or main event, and already I got to 13. It was Roman, Seth, Cody, Jay, Owens, Zayn, all of Judgment Day, all 3 members. I'm just counting males here. I didn't even count the female side of the main event scene, and I'm already at 9, folks. Solo, Jimmy, LA Knight, Cena's here right now. Like, that's 13. That's 13 deep. You expect CM Punk to be like take someone else's position or take LA Knight's position right now? What? No.
Unless he's wrestling John Cena at WrestleMania, like, you know, what the hell else is he going to do at this point? For me, WWE at this point, CM Punk has no leverage. WWE can wait until it's right for them or until they have a need. God forbid somebody gets hurt ahead of WrestleMania season. It's like, well, shit, now we need an opponent for Seth.
But they know that they got him in the bag.
Yeah, he's got.
If somebody gets hurt, hey, and they don't miss a step. Bringing him in now, I think, would do him more harm than it would do either WWE or CM Punk. That it would do right by them. So, which is not a bad strategy, by the way.
Honestly,
they called me the other day. They called me the other day, and I told them that. So
it feels like WWE says, CM Punk, don't call us. We'll call you.
We'll call you. Very good. Very good. All right, let's dive into the show. Keep getting your comments in and your questions in and your super chats in. We'll get to as many of them as we can throughout the entirety of the show. SmackDown opening up with John Cena tonight. He ain't gone yet. They haven't solved that actor strike yet, so he's sticking around for a few more. In fact, they actually took a step back this week. They said, y'all are asking for too much. These aren't positive conversations. So this strike is going on still. The writers are done. They got their money. But the studios are playing hardball with the actors right now, so we may get John Cena for a few more weeks. It was only supposed to be, 8 weeks in a row, and then he was going to be gone. He's still sticking around. He opens up. He welcomes everybody to the season premiere of Friday Night SmackDown, and then we ain't wasting any time. Roman's music hits. He comes out flanked by Solo and Heyman. Paul Heyman dyed his hair back for this occasion. They even talked about him looking healthy and youthful and very, very happy. The babysitter is off the hook. Daddy is back home. And he spent most of this night trying to clean up a mess and going, what the hell did y'all do to my house while I was out trying to enjoy my vacation? Roman calls Cena a coward, claiming that he is the real greatest of all time. Said John came back while he was gone to try to stake his claim. Tells Cena to leave, or they will make him leave. And then Cena pulls a 180 on Roman and says, you know what? I acknowledge you. I acknowledge your 1,139-day reign. Cena says, I have not earned a shot to take that off of you, but I know somebody who does. And here SP3 is the foreshadowing. LA Knight, his music comes down. I thought he got a damn good pop at the open of the show tonight. Where were they at? Omaha? Were they in Omaha tonight?
Tulsa,
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
They're all
what's the show? What's the show, Rick?
Yeah. Tulsa.
Sometime.
The fine folks down there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, gave LA Knight a rousing reception. And Roman Reigns SP3 to me sold this. This man looked flabbergasted. Like, he's just like, really? I've been gone for 2 months, and this is the best that y'all have to offer. I thought Roman absolutely sold this. He did not look too impressed with LA Knight. Told him he was proud of him, though. In 2 months, he finally got people to learn his damn name. And they can say his name now. Congratulations, LA Knight. Knight gets on the horn. They do a quick little back and forth before Jimmy Uso attacks LA Knight, and that ends up setting up. He got real quick. Jimmy getting his ass tossed out of the ring. That ends up setting up Solo versus LA Knight for the main event tonight. Overall, SP3, what'd you think of this opening segment going from Cena to Roman to Cena once again putting LA Knight over, and now it's off to the races now. We're getting Roman and LA Knight for the WWE Universal Championship. Is it in Saudi Arabia? Is it at Survivor Series? Who knows? But it's happening.
Hey, that Saudi Arabia date may be up in the air with all that trouble they have over there.
Fair point.
I'm not saying I don't know, but that Israeli, the Gaza trouble.
Yep.
May spread. I hope it doesn't, but they may have a tough time having that over there. I hope they do.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. But SP3, what did you think about the opening of the show here tonight?
I thought the opening segment, it was good. I thought LA Knight came off like a top star. He got the big reaction from the fans, and he got a real endorsement, not some I just pointed at the guy endorsement, but a real endorsement with words from Cena putting him over, saying that he's earned this opportunity. And then also it was very subtle with how he passed him the mic. It was kind of like how you pass a torch. It was very cool. And Cena kind of playing the cheerleader behind LA Knight the entire time. And that production time, the production of this whole segment was really well done, especially when they zoomed in on LA Knight and you saw the reflection of Roman in his sunglasses. Just great stuff. Great shot. I thought this was well done to set up this program between LA Knight and Roman Reigns.
That's your reaction.
Oh, it was, I agree. It's a good way to get LA Knight. Now he's in there. Now he's accepted. He's a top guy, and they're going to keep him there because they need him there. So a lot of people may have said, well, I don't know what he's going to do. But, when he came out there, he fit in. He did very, very well.
Yeah,
Till he had a match. Till he had the match. I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say, look, when the first time you insert somebody into a situation like that, it's you really don't want it to come off like a square peg in a round hole. He looked like he fit out there and played the part to perfection to set up the main event later on. We'll get to the main event. There was so much intermingling with Roman and the blood. I'm just gonna take it things in chronological order tonight. We get Pretty Deadly's return to action, complete with slow-mo entrance and a disco ball. I thought their match tonight between Butch and Ridge Holland was okay. I thought this was a fine matchup. A lot of this was just theatrics to keep putting over the Elton Strong gimmick. They end up defeating the Brawling Brutes.
I liked it.
Yeah, Elton fakes the injury. I thought this went on a little too long. But Kit ends up kicking Ridge Holland in the head. Elton rolls him up for the 1, 2, 3. Look, it's hard not to like Pretty Deadly. I thought this was all about their theatrics and getting Elton over. Dutch, you liked it. Why'd you like it tonight?
Well, it's entertaining for one thing. See the way the guys are dressed with that top that comes right there, and you look at it and you say, who in the hell would wear something like that? But they look like they're having a good time, and I enjoy their stuff. And when I first saw them, I went,
I believe you called them dead on arrival, Dutch. I believe you said
no, I didn't
dead
call
on arrival.
No, you're a damn liar, Rick. You're just a damn liar. I didn't call them.
I think this is a good time to
dead.
promote the fact that all of our episodes are available on demand here on the YouTube channel. So if you want to go back to Pretty Deadly's debut.
Okay, if you want to go back and read, I didn't call them dead on arrival.
He did not.
I didn't much like them.
No, you didn't. But
as they go on, and this is, I'm sure, the case with everybody, they kind of grow on you a little bit, and and they're always kind of happy, and so. But I don't think that they really going to turn them heel anyway. People kind of like them, so don't fight the wave. But I did like this match.
SP3, your thoughts?
I don't know what's up with the new disco ball in their entrance. He gave me Disco Inferno vibes. I was not feeling that. The match itself, it was kind of there. It was solid. The finish drag, though, I was just like, I get that this is done on purpose to make people believe, but I never believed the entire time. So it just felt like it dragged.
I felt like he kept changing which knee hurt.
Yeah.
Said, what are we watching? Pro wrestling, and we're talking about the belief in it. I think that's like 20 years ago. We're gone from that. So just entertain me, guys, and we'll go from there.
Afterwards, we get Carlito backstage. Carlito finally, this man's been signed for months, made his return in Indianapolis to help LWO beat the Street Business. Carlito's backstage. He tells Kayla that his return to WWE was what else? It was cool. He's got the apple in his hand. That's something that we didn't see. And then Lashley comes up, welcomes him back, kind of brings up their old business from like over a decade ago, kind of says, hey, we're familiar with one another, but you know what? That's water underneath the bridge. And, you know, really before anything can go down, the Street Profits attack Carlito.
Do you remember that? Do you remember it?
Not really. No, honestly.
Sid?
I remember they were on the same Survivor Series team in 2005. I don't remember any of their
it was so long ago, but since last time we saw those guys working with one another, like I don't remember a damn thing about it. I got nothing.
Oh, they were on opposite teams in 2005. My bad, but yeah, that's the only time I remember them on opposite sides of the ring from each other. So
yeah, I got nothing. But Dutch, your thoughts on Carlito's return to WWE? What do you think he can add? What can he bring to the table here?
Well, he can, but in this particular case, I think it's wrestling 101. They go out there, they meet each other. It's wrestling by the numbers. Boom, boom. This happens, and then we attack you, and then the other guys come in and save it. It's the same. It sets the issue between them, but it doesn't. I don't think it really sparks it like they wanted it to. I think they were just looking for a starting point, and they have a starting point. And again, it's like we watch wrestling to see what's going to happen, and we'll follow this and see where they go with it.
SP3, what about your thoughts on Carlito now that he's back in WWE? It's been a long time since he's had a full-time contract with WWE. What do you think he can still bring to the table at this point?
I think he's someone that could be a utility player that you can kind of put anywhere on the roster where you think that he can fit. But I feel like the placement of the matchup at Fastlane and then this segment made me really just feel like right off the bat they're saying, no, he's mid-card. He's here. He's mid-card. That's what it very much felt like. And that was the only thing that I was kind of down on this segment overall. It was kind of there, and I honestly, probably after I go to sleep tonight, I'll forget this segment.
You said he felt mid-card?
Yeah.
You know why he felt mid-card?
Why?
Because he's mid-card. That's exactly why it felt like that. Because they didn't really accent him, and they just showed him and a little issue between him and the Profits, and that's it.
Yeah, and next week he'll fight Montez Ford, and we will see where things go from there. After we come back from break, we have Adam Pearce trying to pick up the pieces of the backstage attack. Zelina Vega is there. We get a little backstage altercation with her and Bayley to set up their matchup, and this one was it was a little clunky at times here, guys. I think these two, Dutch, and you can speak on this more than anything. The size difference, I think, for these two was a little hard to overcome. Bayley looked like was like Kane wrestling X-Pac almost in this kind of situation. Like it would like I knew Zelina was small, but like watching her wrestle Bayley tonight is just like even when Bayley went for the rose plant, she was having a hard time like even reaching Zelina's arm. Like these two just did not mesh well together. It just didn't. It was. Yeah, man, like the size difference played a factor in this matchup. It hindered it tonight.
Yeah, that was a clunky match. Fortunately for all of us, it didn't go very long. I think it went more than it should have went, but that's hindsight talking. But Vega had a great match in Puerto Rico. That was possibly due to the crowd accepting her because she is from there, but at least she's a good-looking girl with a little bit of athletic ability, and that's as far as it goes. Plus, she's Hispanic, speaks Spanish, so she appeals to that audience. So it wasn't the worst match I've ever seen. Wasn't the best. It was just in between.
Yeah, SP3. I don't know if. Like, I think Bayley and Zelina Vega could have a good match together. I just don't know if Zelina coming in there and them trying to have this technical, extravaganza was the right way to go.
There's no way they were gonna have a good match in 4 minutes, guys. So
Yeah, that's true too.
I mean,
Yeah, there's
like,
that.
like
Look, there's that.
There's no way they didn't develop any great chemistry to have a good 4-minute matchup. So it was a 4-minute matchup that had some clunky moments that
Yep.
all of us are not going to remember tomorrow.
Fair enough.
Wait a minute, I'm having some flashbacks right now to that match.
Now,
Oh,
speaking of clunky, after the matchup, Damage Control gets in there to beat up Zelina some more, and then we get Charlotte running down to the ring to make the save
in high heels.
Now,
I love that run to the ring.
To be fair, Charlotte has done some amazing things while wearing high heels. Amazing things in the ring while wearing high heels in the past. Running down to the ring was probably not the best call on that one. Yeah, it just, clunky.
I don't think she got the memo that she was supposed to run on the ring.
That was actually
maybe she wouldn't have run.
Oh my God! I was watching it. I went, "What the hell is this?"
We did see Charlotte. We did see Charlotte later on in the night. We'll get to that coming up. We did have a backstage segment before Bayley and Zelina tonight. Roman Reigns talking with Jimmy Uso backstage. They bring up the fact that, Jay is now on Raw, new tag team champion. Roman says Jay Uso is old news, but SP3 calls it disrespectful to see him and Cody Rhodes walking around as the tag team champions. Disrespectful to the family as long as they have those belts. And considering the stare down that we got, obviously a lot of people are going to focus on Cody and Roman, and rightfully so. But there was a stare down between Cody and Jay and Jimmy and Solo first. And I think that's the direction we're heading with the tag team championships.
I think that's the title match at Crown Jewel. That's the second piece, the second big matchup they're going to make for Crown Jewel is that matchup. So that's why it would have been nice if Jimmy and Solo have ever won a tag team match. Would have been nice. I know that it was probably more important to give LA Knight a win, and I agree. Yeah, he should have had a win there. Perfect. But this is why you build to the matches at the pay-per-view. If I could say, oh, Jimmy and Solo, they won a match before Fastlane, though. So, okay, it adds up. Maybe they do deserve a shot. No, they have never won a damn tag team matchup together. And now they're going to be the number one contenders for the tag team championships. After A-Town Down Under, the whole thing that made them qualified to get a shot on this show was they were 3-0. And now we got a team that's 0-1. Getting a shot.
Well, maybe, hey, they can always win a tag team match next week. They could win a number one contenders match. More likely, Roman Reigns is going to pull political favors and have Paul Heyman book him in the match. More likely, but heelish tactics, Dutch, right? Heels don't care about racking up wins. They just get matches any way they get.
All I can say is they got all the players, all the actors on the same page. Now, where they're going, see, when you watch something and it's apparent to you what you want and they push that on you, you got it. But here I'm left saying, I'm kind of in the middle on this because I'm not drawn one way or the other. So I'm going to give them a week or two to pull it together and see if they can correct my thinking because it definitely is damn skewered right now.
I kind of got everything figured out after this episode. I think that.
Are you excited about it?
I think I am just waiting to see how it plays out. But Crown Jewel looks like we're gonna get.
Isn't that what I said? Okay, go ahead.
No. Crown Jewel, we're gonna get Roman and LA Knight for the Universal Championship, and Cody and Jay versus Jimmy and Solo. Then Survivor Series, we're going to get what I've been talking about for a month now, Judgment Bloodline versus Cody and friends in the War Games. And then Royal Rumble is probably going to be, by the time we get to the end of the year, AJ Styles will be back, and we'll do AJ Styles and Roman at Royal Rumble. Cody will probably win a Royal Rumble again, and then we're off to at WrestleMania 40. Jimmy and Jay at WrestleMania 40. Those are the top matches from this whole top program. They pretty much foreshadowed all of this on this one episode.
let's go way ahead.
Oh, Jesus.
You say, don't go more than 2 hours ahead because it'll change. Jimmy and Jay, how are they going to get those guys back together? What do you think?
I think
this is a long way off.
Yeah, we're probably going to be talking about that next year. Next year, this time, that's probably when they will be putting it together, maybe, of them getting back together. But yeah, we're heading to the one-on-one matchup right now. But I did like that backstage segment and Jimmy saying, yeah, if I was in charge, I would go get Jay.
Yeah, he still wants his brother.
He's still hung up on his brother.
The only reason he went crawling back to the Bloodline is because Jay told him to F off. I quit. I would rather quit than forgive you for your actions.
Because you're the dummy who made me turn on my family. This is why the heel turn never made sense. And all of you people that keep trying to tell Rick, oh yeah, Rick, yeah, your theory worked. No, because they didn't make that heel turn work. So any theory that tries to make it make sense is wrong.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping to see something different out of Roman Reigns interacting with Jimmy tonight. Like something to kind of pull him in and say, look, I know what you're doing. All right. But like, I know what you're doing. You better not F up, or I'm gonna whoop your ass more than anybody. Like something like that, anything like that, to give credence to my theory that I have talked about on this show ad nauseum for weeks now, and they didn't. That
would have been very good if he called him in. He said, "Listen, be very, very careful about how you go forward, and if you fuck up,
that's all we needed. That's all we needed.
That's all you need." And they look at each other. And then Roman leaves. Be very careful going forward. I'm trying to teach you, kid. I'm telling you. That's it.
We did not get
because now you put disbelief into fans like, oh, wait a minute, that's not the way I think it would be going. Now they would be thinking. I love stuff like that. I really do.
It became like it was like all the stuff that we wanted out of that first initial interaction between them. We didn't get any of that. He just redirected us to the tag team titles. Like he didn't acknowledge the fact that Jimmy has been trying to act like he's the tribal chief while he's been gone, that he's been making Paul Heyman go like 100 years older before our eyes. He didn't even mention that he lost at Fastlane. Like none of that was acknowledged throughout this night.
Yeah, I mean, granted, he didn't really get a chance to, right? He didn't get a chance to address the past because the present was kicking his door down. He went down there to boot John Cena out of the ring.
No, I'm just talking about in those backstage segments.
Okay, fair enough.
He could have done it in those backstage segments, and he didn't.
Totally.
It was like, you know what? We're focused on this now. Yeah. This is a problem now.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Roman is really good at that stuff. And he's believable. When you pull that camera back, you're thinking about what less words, but more meaning, and it'll take you a long way.
And one of the things that before I move on here, Roman did kind of sell a little bit with the fact that like he's not happy with Jimmy with their backstage interactions on the couch. Like they're not cool. They're not on the same page. And he's one wrong move away from getting a royal ass whooping. Like that's the story that Roman told me with his facial visuals and his interactions. Sometimes though, we do need him to verbally move the story forward or verbally make the story make sense. And they did not do that tonight when they had the opportunity to do so. Triple H opens up hour 2 coming down to the ring. Adam Pearce already there. He thanks Adam Pearce for all the work that he's done over the past 3 years, leading both shows. And says he's done such a good job, he's going to promote him and cut his workload in half. He is now the general manager of Monday Night Raw, so no more Adam Pearce on SmackDown. Triple H says it is time to introduce the new SmackDown GM, but we get Dirty Dom, who interrupts.
I love this interview. I love this interview.
Dom is trying to get his words out as the crowd continues to just rain down boos on him. You even had Triple H make a comment, man, I thought they piped that shit in. Like this it got loud in here. Triple H pays attention to what y'all tweet. All right. I'm just saying. He may act like he doesn't. He reads y'all tweet. Okay. Basically, Dom comes out there. He struggles to get out the fact that he's pissed off that Judgment Day doesn't have their tag team titles anymore. He says Fastlane sucks. He's pissed that A-Town Down has the tag team title match tonight when Judgment Day has a tag team title match on Monday. That is when Triple H says, hey, you're talking to the wrong guys here. You need to be talking to the new GM of Friday Night SmackDown, and then introduces Nick Aldis as the new SmackDown GM, the former NWA heavyweight champion. We talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the show here, Dutch, but what do you like about or not like about the fact that how they introduced Nick Aldis as the new SmackDown GM tonight?
Well, when he went out there, I'd heard about this earlier in the week, but I don't know if the crowd knew it or the people at home. They probably knew it anyway. But Nick Aldis can work too. He's a hell of a hand in that ring. So I think he's going to play it down the middle for about a month, and then he's going to start leaning toward the heels a little bit, which will get heat on him, and we'll see where they take it from there. I don't think they're going to put him in the ring, but they could put him in the ring for a special occasion. I mean, he gets one of those baby faces really pissed off, or he gets he gets to not liking one of the top baby faces. Then they keep talking to him and they pull him apart, and they can do a lot of things like that. That's just another instrument they can use for the whole card. But I liked putting Nick Aldis. He's a great talker. Plus, he has that. What was that old English guy that used to be on the talk show? Lord Alfred Hayes. He's got the British like that. So I like this. I mean, I'm not jumping up and down on my couch because he's there, but I can see they got somewhere to go with this.
Yeah, I saw SP3 some people on online complaining about how the way they introduced Nick Aldis, maybe thought he should have gotten a more grandiose introduction considering the career that he's had. To me, that didn't bother me so much because they treated him kind of like they would treated Adam Pearce, right? Like they kind of treated them both like they're on level playing field, unless the story was to eventually create, a pit of jealousy against Adam Pearce and make him question his belief as the Raw GM, which is maybe something they'll get into down the line, because one of the best lines here was when Nick Aldis got on the mic, was like, hey, Adam, nice to see you. Looking forward to some healthy competition between the two, which is one of the reasons why I love this. Separate Raw and SmackDown, give them different authority figures, make them feel different, which is something you said at the top of the show here, SP3. But overall, the introduction of Nick Aldis as a WWE on-screen character, what did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought the introduction was fine. I like them doing it in this segment, and you needed a heel to kind of bounce everything off, with Nick Aldis being this babyface authority figure and him introducing a babyface to the SmackDown roster. And you needed someone that kind of tied everything together with what they were doing over on Monday Night Raw. So I thought Dominic was a great choice here. The crowd reaction was sublime, and Triple H and Adam Pearce's reaction to it. I love Triple H when all this came out and Dom started talking. He was like, use my mic. I think yours is not working. That was great. That was great stuff. Great interaction with everybody here. And then I liked all this introducing Kevin Owens, because I'm always right.
I believe SP3.
Always right.
I believe that you were the first person to predict Kevin Owens as the draft pick. Here's what I loved about this, right? Nick Aldis making the fact that we did not know for a month who the compensation for Jey Uso was going to be basically made it make sense, because that was his first priority as SmackDown GM, was to complete the trade and bring over somebody like Kevin Owens. Whereas with Adam Pearce being the GM of both shows, what did he care? He drug his damn feet on who
he wasn't the GM.
He's
basically when a business has like a top position and they don't want to fill it, they don't want to promote anybody, so they just have somebody kind of working that position, but they don't want to actually give them that position. That was Adam Pearce for 3 years, y'all. That's what Triple H basically told us with this whole promo. that Adam Pearce has basically been doing the job of a GM for 2 shows, but he just got promoted to GM.
And I bet Nick Aldis is still getting paid more because that's how it works in corporate America. Anyway, but
this reminds me of like the Attitude Era, Dutch. You remember the late 90s when they had a lot of the like producers and they were using them as on-screen roles like Pat Patterson, Gerald Briscoe, Sergeant Slaughter. This is what it feels like with Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, who are also producers, whether you know that or not. I'm letting you know they're also producers. Now they're giving them on-screen roles. I think it's very cool and kind of goes back to those days. How often did they do that, Dutch? I don't know whether in WWE or anywhere else you've been at as far as like using producers in on-screen roles like this.
Very few. I remember they may have had a few that I don't remember. I've been hit on the head a couple 100,000 times. But I think they got a good setup between these two, and they can develop, I think, Aldis much more easily than they can the other guy, because he's, it just simple conversation. Hey, you go along with me and let's get along, and got some good news for you. Just little things like that. And if he always kind of rules in his favor, little things. Now you'll slowly turn all this kind of heel, and then you could have them come over and say, "What are you doing?" And then they're off and running now because they're trying to oversee what he's doing. I mean, the head office, he tells them to F off. So now you got an issue, and let's see where they take it down the road. And I'd be interested in seeing it.
We do get Kevin Owens introduced as the trade compensation for Jey Uso and SP3. This is, when you and I first, we were on a live stream together, I do believe. And when we were first laying this out and you brought up Kevin Owens, I said that would be perfect because the first person who welcomed Jey Uso to Monday Night Raw with open arms was Sami Zayn. He came out there, welcomed him, said, "Hey, look, there's going to be people who aren't going to be happy that you're here. I want you to know I am happy that you're here." And now all of a sudden, because Jey Uso is there, Sami Zayn's best friend and tag team partner is not there. And this now creates controversy between Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, who at the time was his only friend. But now he's got Cody Rhodes as his tag team partner, fellow tag team champion, his BFF, as we found out at the Fastlane press conference, his drinking buddy. These two are very, very close to one another all of a sudden. And yeah, now you're going to have Sami Zayn get mixed in here with having issues with Jey Uso, which by proxy now may mean Sami Zayn is going to have issues with Cody Rhodes. This is one of those things that got me very excited about what could be happening over on Monday Night Raw now.
I think of it as in a different way of they have basically created kind of 2 different scenarios on these 2 shows as far as like what we're building towards for Survivor Series. If you have like the Judgment Day running things on Monday Night Raw, you got the Bloodline running things on SmackDown. You can have a scenario where on Raw, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are with Sami Zayn feuding with the Judgment Day, and then on SmackDown, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso are with Kevin Owens feuding with the Bloodline. I love that. I think that's spreading your top program across both shows, and I think that is a good way to do things and build up anticipation when you bring everybody together for the War Games matchup in November.
And Dutch, this is what you've preached about. Create options.
Yeah, they got a lot of options. But what you two just said just went right over my head. I'm more confused. I'm more confused now than what I was before. See, there is a thing of having almost too many options. See what I mean? So you can do this. You can do a lot of things, but let's don't do something that takes away from the other later on. So, I mean, your ideas were good, but I'm thinking, but I'm confused about it. don't confuse wrestling fans because then you actually lose out.
To be fair,
I
you don't
think.
watch Monday Night Raw very often. To be fair.
Hey, I watch it very often. I never watch it.
Exactly. So there you go.
Guess what? I wouldn't even watch SmackDown unless I was paid to do it. Tell you the truth.
You get
So
paid?
you guys are fans. I get paid weekly, very weekly.
Oh, you get paid weekly? Now this?
Yeah, weekly, very weekly.
See, when he has computer issues, the check didn't clear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There we go.
See,
I'm gonna be like, I got
Boys,
related issues. That's what I'm gonna say next time.
We're kidding.
but I think, well, it hurt my feelings, guys. I'm very emotional. I am. So, but I think you guys put together so many ways in and out of it. I think you miss half of it. But that's their job. So when they book a card, then I'll tell you if I like it or not. If not, I'll tell you something else.
We get another backstage of Roman. He is pissed that his old buddy Kevin Owens is now on his show. He's pissed that Jey Uso's on his show. He's pissed that who else is it? Cody Rhodes is on his show. He also hates the word yeet. Twice tonight he had to tell Jimmy, don't do that shit.
Yeet.
Stop it.
Yeet.
Give me
I don't like
okay.
that.
Use some bass in your voice, Dutch. Give me a
yeet. What is a yeet? I just read about it the other day. Yeet. I'd never heard of it before. What's that mean?
Yeet.
I'll be like,
I actually
anything you want it to mean.
I actually don't know what the origin of yeet is, of this version of yeet is, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean the original version of yeet is when you toss somebody.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Them. This is like you're yeet.
I thought it was like somebody combining yes and bet together. No?
Not
okay.
That. I think this is just the evolution of it has now become yeet.
Okay. See, Dutch, Gen Zers and millennials, we just make up our own fucking language. You know, like English isn't hard enough as it is. We just make up words.
Well, that's good.
I bet you 5 years
from
now,
it's really it's a word that actually can mean whatever you want it to mean.
Yeet.
I guess. You said, what did he say to you before he slapped the shit out of you? He said, yeet. Oh my God. So somebody tells you yeet, cover up.
That son of a mother
yeet.
Son of a
yeet. I like that. Like, you mother yeet. How's that?
We get Nick Aldis backstage talking to the women's tag team champions because I loved I loved the second that there was a new manager introduced on the screen. Chelsea Green was right there up his butt trying to kiss ass and get anything and everything she wanted. And she wants new women's tag team titles designed. Somebody brought this up in the chat earlier. I should have started. I apologize. But they were hoping that, there we go. We got Rod saying, I was hoping Triple H would introduce new tag team titles tonight. What the hell are they waiting for? We may be getting new women's tag team titles before we get men's tag team titles at this point, for crying out loud. I'm with you on that boat. They revamped all their championships and never touched those dirty, raggedy ass, not even blue and red championship belts anymore. Yeah. Like, what are we doing?
Those yeet belts. Yeet. What they are. Yeet. What do you think about that? Yeet.
Yeet. Now, there's also reports that they're going to be talking about splitting the belts back up. Either way, get us some new titles, please, quick, fast, and in a hurry. But
do it.
Ended up being a terrible first impression for Chelsea tonight, as they are interrupted by Nick Aldis having another meeting. We get Charlotte Flair walking in. Nick tells Charlotte, look, I don't like what happened to you at Fastlane. I believe you deserve a shot at Io Sky for the WWE Women's Championship. And he set that match up one-on-one next week on SmackDown. But then the money shot happened. The money moment tonight, I should say. Charlotte Flair goes to walk out. Jade Cargill walks in, and those two stare down. And then, honestly, one of the moments of the night was Triple H like sticking his head like in between, like, y'all see what I did here? Like that cheesy ass smile on his face. Like, y'all know what I'm doing here. Y'all know what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to set up. And he introduces Jade to Charlotte and vice versa. Jade says it's it's going to be a pleasure, and Charlotte says, "Yep, it will be a pleasure for me," or something along those lines. I don't exactly.
She said it's my pleasure, and Charlotte
Yes,
was like, "Not yet."
yeah,
Something
it's gonna be,
it's gonna be.
SP3 wins this match happening. They're putting these two
WrestleMania.
together.
WrestleMania.
You think it's gonna be that quickly?
WrestleMania. They did it for a reason. They were foreshadowing things for the next few months, but they also foreshadowed WrestleMania on this show. They're gonna give us Charlotte Flair and Jade Cargill. I think that is a type of matchup where you don't even need to have the title involved.
No, you
You
don't.
can still have your two title matches and do Charlotte versus Jade Cargill. And that's the person that if I'm WWE, that's the person that I bet on can have a great matchup with Jade Cargill on that stage.
Yeah, look,
I'd like to see it.
Look, we've talked about ad nauseum. WWE needs to find some storylines for Charlotte not involving a championship. I would personally love it if Charlotte and Jade Cargill is like her first big storyline, because it's like you were brought in. Don't think I don't know what's going on here. You were brought in to replace me. You don't replace the queen. Like that's simple, basic storytelling that they could set up their entire wrestling. You could have Charlotte eliminate Jade Cargill from the Royal Rumble. Whatever you got to do to set things up. And then Jade gets pissed and she comes back in and she tosses Charlotte out. And then there's a melee and a brawl and everybody's losing their damn minds. Again, spitballing here, thinking of shit off the top of my head. I'm sure there's better things that they'll come up with. But Dutch, what about you? Does the idea of Jade Cargill, Charlotte Flair excite you?
No, it does. They're both pretty big girls. So we're not talking about a girl much smaller. I would like to see these two, and see what because both of them are very, very talented. What if they went 20 minutes to a time limit draw? I haven't seen a time limit draw, I swear, in 20 years.
On WWE,
you guys,
anyway. On WWE anyway, they've done it several times in AEW.
Yeah. Okay, but not in WWE. So that way they could have a hell of a match, and then you got a rematch out of it automatically. And let them, and then get into maybe a little bit of a step match, no time limit, and of course it probably wouldn't even figure in the second match. But I think people would want to see it.
Yeah, I would definitely, if you're going to do this, right, and you're going to do it fairly quickly, I think WrestleMania is about as early as you can do it. I think that's about as early as you can do it. You don't want to, blow your wad, to be crass here, at Royal Rumble or anything like that, because Jade you do want to get, I like what they're doing with Jade Cargill, where they're kind of sprinkling her in here a little bit and having her appear on TV, and she's been on Fastlane, she's been on Raw, she's been on NXT, now she's been on SmackDown. So she's hit all four WWE's major shows, PLE's included now.
She didn't hit Raw yet. She's going to be on Raw this week, probably.
Yeah, she hasn't. Oh, sorry, it was a video package. Regardless, right? So they're constantly putting her on television in some way, shape, or form, right? So I think this is perfect, because as I found out in Indianapolis here, Dutch, she came up on the screen and the guys that were sitting next to me, like, loudly were screaming, "Who is that?" And we're looking around and we're confused as all hell. Obviously Jade is an attraction. You see her, you stop, you pay attention, but there are people who are not familiar with her work, who do not watch AEW. Kind of similar to the reaction we saw from Nick Aldis tonight. There are a lot of people there who probably don't watch NWA, had no idea who he was. There are people who don't watch AEW, have no idea who Jade is. So I think by sprinkling her in and putting her with Triple H and putting her with Shawn Michaels on NXT and now doing a face-to-face with Charlotte, that's going to let people know, okay, this is somebody we need to pay attention to. This is somebody I need to Google. This is somebody I need to figure out who this is, because she's got a bright future ahead. I love what WWE's doing with Jade Cargill right now.
They're introducing her to the people who don't know her, and they'll all go, at least half of them will go research her. And then they'll find out probably more researching her than what WWE's told them already.
Got a massive,
my opinion.
Got a massive super chat here from referee Rob Legion. Thank you so much. Love what you guys do. Can I get a shout out for the wrestling promotion that I referee for, ALW Atomic Legacy Wrestling. Boogeyman, Sabu, Shannon Moore, the Headbangers, all going to be at ALW Blood, Sweat, and Fears. Hell yeah. Good. Give a good shout out to ALW Atomic Legacy Wrestling. We appreciate it.
I'm coming there too.
Dutch, you're going to be wrestling on that show, right? You're going to be going
I'm not going to be wrestling. I'll just be standing around talking and watching the other guys. But I'm going to be there too.
Can you
we'll put you in the tag match.
Punch. No, I got spray mace. That's my new gimmick.
I just want you to punch Rick. I just wanted you to do a spot where you punch Rick.
He wouldn't sell it.
I still can't take a bump.
I'd hit him and he'd just look at me. It's going to take more than that. I ain't selling that crap.
My back's still messed up. I can't bump right now. We get our tag team title match tonight. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso against Austin Theory and Grayson Waller. Quicker match than I was hoping for and anticipating. Cody and Jay end up getting the win with the Co 1D. Is that what we're calling this? The Co 1D. And
they were calling it Cody 1D, but I think Co 1D sounds better.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I don't think either one of them are that great, but I do think Co 1D sounds a little bit better. I thought this match was fine. Like I said, it was a little shorter than what I was hoping to see out of this. Maybe a little bit more allow A-Town Down Under to be a little bit more competitive, but time restraints being what they are, you still had to do the main event. You had to do the stare down segment, which we'll get to. SP3, what did you think about this matchup here?
I think it's because I watched, the Fastlane matchup with Judgment Day. That was great. The main event of Monday Night Raw this week was terrific. That just felt like a basic ass WWE match. It was one babyface takes the heat, we get the hot tag, come back, double team, it's over. It was you don't even have to watch this episode. I told you how that match went. That's how it went. That's how they booked it. That's how they laid it out. And the crowd ate it up. So it was honestly, when you really think about it, the best match on the show.
Dutch, your thoughts?
Basic 101 wrestling again, because they don't need to get fancy with this. They just need to advance someone in the easiest possible way. People saw it, they liked it, and we'll see them take it forward that they're advancing him, and it all culminates at the pay-per-view, of course, when they bring it all together. And while it doesn't make sense if you look at it individually or singly, but if you put it all together, it all ties in pretty good. So they're doing actually a pretty good job. Not all these matches can or will blow the audience away, but they're advancing one of the participants or two of the participants, and now they're ready to go ahead and they could advance.
Can we just please figure out a way for Cody to not break his neck every time they do the Co 1D though? Like, I really like the one on Raw and then this one where he's basically taking like a German suplex bump off the springboard on the second rope, because I don't know, like he's not able to land the same way because the person is elevated. So he's like landing high on his neck. And I fear that if he does that too many times, it's going to wind up bad.
It's a timed move.
Yeah.
And I've seen it about 3 or 4 times, and the timing is always a tenth of a second off.
You're relying on 3 people to all hit at the same time. That's difficult.
I wouldn't take it. Somebody said, "How you going to put the move?" I said, "Bullshit. You putting shit on me, buddy. I ain't taking that crap."
Let's come on. You roll me up. All right, just roll me up. I'll make it look good. I'll kick my feet for you. Yeah, I'll give you the little baby pins. We're good.
Just give me a little small package, and it's the same ending. It's the same result.
Yeah. I do feel like these kinds of shows, right? Because like SmackDown's before, we've seen great wrestling on SmackDown before, but I feel like when we get to like a season premiere, I always kind of prep myself for the wrestling to be like the secondary or thirdary thing on the show. Like they want to load it up with big stars, big moments, advanced storylines, which is fine, totally fine. But these kind of shows, I've kind of prepared myself that the wrestling is going to be secondary, and it's going to be, as as Sid would say, basic AF.
Yeah, like me, the guy that loves the in-ring work of professional wrestling. I'm the guy that enjoyed this episode the most because this is what I expect from WWE. If it's a season premiere, I'm not expecting to have a great matchup. I'm expecting them to set up things for the future and get you excited for that. And I think they did that this episode.
And it started right here with this showdown, right? Dutch, what did it tell you? Because just a few months ago, we're talking about, oh man, The Rock was on SmackDown. They're putting him back. He's on Pat McAfee's show talking about how he's open for WrestleMania 40. Then he's showing up on SmackDown, and we're thinking, oh well, shit, Cody's screwed. Signed, sealed, and delivered. We're getting Rock Roman at WrestleMania 40. Well, now tonight, we got the stare down that let us know Cody and Roman is happening. We're going to get a rematch at some point. It's just, when is that going to happen? Do you think that's a Royal Rumble match? Do you think maybe something happened with The Rock? When do you think Cody and Roman is happening? Because we know it's happening now.
Something happened that we don't know about. And it happened with Rock. That's where it happened, because Cody was going to be there anyway. I think they wanted, and they painted the whole picture that it's going to be Roman and The Rock at WrestleMania. And that's what I come away with, as you guys did, right? Everybody thought that's where it painted. Then something happened, and it changed it all. Now they've switched it, but at least they can switch it to a guy that they know can produce and has already been there. So I don't think they're really too perturbed about it. But, okay, individually, what would you rather see? Would you rather see Rock and Roman or Roman and Cody? Because remember, Rock said we need to make this an event, something they've never done before. And they've already seen Cody and Roman. They hadn't seen Cody and Roman and Rock.
No.
Go ahead, SP3.
This is us putting the theory that this is Rock's move. Another theory that I just thought of is, what if Rock and Roman was the Vince plan, and now that Vince is out of play, and Triple H is 100% in charge, we've getting clear messages after this week when the report came out that now we're getting Cody and Roman. I'm very confident in saying I think that Roman and Cody is happening at WrestleMania 40, and I feel like it's a mixture of both of those theories, and I think that I'm leaning more into the one I just brought up, that this is what Triple H wants. He wants Roman and Cody at WrestleMania.
Look, Triple H is trying to build a show for the future and anoint top stars. And Dutch, to answer your question, me personally, I'm invested in Cody and him finishing the story and getting back to the island of relevancy. And tonight, that raft that he's been floating on in the middle of the freaking Atlantic finally turned back toward the island of relevancy, and he is headed right there. I'm not saying he has to win the Royal Rumble to set this up. I'm not saying he has to win the Royal Rumble back-to-back to set this up, but I definitely feel like we're heading in the right direction. And the Vince being out thing is interesting to me, SP3, and also gives me pause, because Vince could be back 2 months from now and everything could be thrown in the freaking, popcorn maker and get shuffled all over.
How much power do you think Vince still holds in the creative process?
None right now.
From the report, it's 0.1. So if he calls in and they think the idea is good, they might use it, but it doesn't seem like a lot. To answer Dutch's question, I think that Rock and Roman is much more interesting than Cody and Roman. I think we've already seen Cody and Roman at his best. At his best. That was WrestleMania 39. It's not going to get better. Doing this whole stare down, I was like, okay, cool. I'd be excited if this was Royal Rumble. This is WrestleMania. I'm like, you're not going to be able to get that build to be the same or get people to believe the way you did last year. I don't know if you are. I'm just not sure. That's just
I think it's
I'm not sure
I think it's fair to be skeptical. I think it's fair to be skeptical about that, but to say that they can't do it,
They can do it.
I'm not betting against them. Appreciate you, Nasir Alexander, once again saying he enjoyed himself. You guys are fun. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Another big super chat here from referee Rob Legion. ALW will be recorded for Fight TV. Awesome. Dutch, do you have any advice for aspiring managers? And then Rick and SP3, do you have any advice for aspiring YouTubers and review streamers? Dutch, your question first.
Save your money. That's what I got for you. Just save your money, because it comes, it goes. But just if you make $100, save 75 of it. That's all I can say.
Damn, Dutch with the brutal honesty.
Yeah,
that's like when people ask me how to get in radio, and I just say don't.
No, it's how somebody asks me how you get into wrestling. I say it's not how you get in, it's how you get out. That's what you need to know. You know, years ago, guys would get out, they would have nothing because they didn't really make a lot. It was so much different than what it is today. I mean, but I'll say one thing. It was fun as hell to do that, because you go to these towns and you were young and drinking a little bit and on these long trips, but it was fun. It really was. You were tired as hell, but you were young, so you didn't give a crap.
As far as advice on YouTubing, patience, and try not to compare yourself to others, man. Like, you just got to keep doing it, keep working it, and figure out what works for you. Just be yourself. And again, patience. I've had a YouTube channel for 2 years and I haven't even cracked 700 subscribers yet. I'm trying. Check out my pinned tweet, by the way, if you want a chance to go to Full Gear, by the way, AEW Full Gear in California. I'm giving away tickets. Check out my pinned tweet. Yes, Dutch.
The thing about YouTube is if you get anybody that knocks you, knock them right back, because negativism sells.
I know.
If I hear the two YouTuber says that Dutch, that old fossil bastard, blah blah blah, I'm coming right back at him. And I'm not. I mean, I'm kidding, but a lot of fans don't know that. So
I'm giving you a ton of shit this week.
I think some of the best feuds in the last 2 months have been the YouTubers arguing with each other. So
it's great stuff,
and it works.
My advice,
not that I'm ever negative on anybody.
No,
not like that. Never.
My advice as someone who's had a YouTube channel for 6 years is two things. Just create as many videos and do different things as well with your YouTube channel. Don't just do reviews, do previews. Don't just do a podcast.
Yeah. Do a fans only. That's always good.
Fans only. You could do Q&A. Just try different things. You're gonna find the thing that you're best at when you're doing a YouTube channel. And like Rick said, it's a lot of patience in the game, because like I said, I've had it for 6 years, closing in on 10,000 subscribers, and most of that came this year. Because it's all about just focusing on yourself. Just keep grinding. That's what I would always say to everybody. As far as like review streams, that is difficult. Just take notes. That is the best thing I could tell you.
Yeah.
I do a review show every single week here and for AEW Dynamite on my own channel, and running the show like Rick does. That's a lot of note taking during the live broadcast.
And I miss stuff by writing notes. Like, honestly, I have to go back and watch the show twice, basically, because I'm like, shit, what did I miss? Let's go back. Take that note.
Through commercials. Why don't you put it at half speed? They interviewed
Nope, I'm good there. Let's talk about this main event, gentlemen. LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa. There was a big I don't know if y'all saw a big miscommunication early on in this match where they're doing the high spot. LA Knight ducks the clothesline. He ducks the back elbow. It looks like LA Knight's either going for like his big clothesline or he is going for a cross body. And then Solo just wrecks his shit with a clothesline. And LA Knight kind of looked up at him like, bitch, what are you doing? Like, I think this is what you were alluding to earlier, Dutch, where you could see him down on the ring mat talking to him.
Yeah, and he looked up at him like, what the hell?
Like, why am I on the ground right now? Like, I think that's what happened there. These two got it together, though. Overall, some nice spots. I thought the pickup press power slam that he hit, LA Knight did on Solo was impressive. That's a big boy there. Knight ends up getting the win with the BFT after Jimmy Uso and John Cena get involved, but they didn't touch either competitor in the ring, so no DQ was called. Knight gets the win tonight. Crowd goes wild for him to get the win. SP3, what do you think about this?
They got it together by the end. It came together. It was a solid enough matchup. LA Knight once again picking up a big victory. The third man on the main roster to pick up a singles victory over Solo Sikoa, showing rarefied air as Cody Rhodes. I think isn't it just Cody and someone else? I think it's one other person. Maybe Jay. I don't know. I think it's just maybe it's just Cody and LA Knight are the only two that have beaten Solo on the main roster. But I believe there's one.
No, hang on.
I believe there's one more. Maybe it's Jay. I don't know. I don't know who.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I believe it's one more. But yeah, good win for LA Knight. He needed this victory, and then the post match with Roman Reigns coming out and spearing him, showing some fear in LA Knight and establishing that he is the threat to his title right now.
Dutch, what were your thoughts?
Well, I kind of agree with Sid a little bit, kind of whatever he said. No, but it was good. So if you really think about it, you put these two guys together, you could actually envision either one of them winning. But who needs it more? Because LA Knight wins it more. He needs to have that. Solo, it's okay. You can beat him sporadically, but he got some offense in at the end, I think. So leave him happy. And then the Roman was standing tall. So the whole thrust of that match goes to Roman and LA Knight. So, and it ended good. So I'm kind of happy with the show. Not blown away, but it was a good show.
By the way, AJ Styles did beat him, but it wasn't on television.
The other person I'm thinking is Sammy at Night of Champions. He pinned him in the tag team matchup. Okay. So 3 people have pinned Solo Sikoa on the main roster.
Yeah, Seth Rollins got a DQ win over him. Didn't even beat him. So there is that. I do want to say, though, this continues to show the growth of both of these performers, because this is a match 18 months ago that would not have main evented in NXT, and it main event Friday Night SmackDown tonight. So Triple H has done a great job with both of these guys. That says more for Solo than it does for LA Knight, because somehow LA Knight, like I said, we've talked about it ad nauseum. This man is bulletproof. He has survived bad gimmicks. He has survived numerous losses, and the fans just stuck with him. So LA deserves a lot of credit for that. But still, man, yeah, they're doing a good job with both of these guys right now. The moment of the night, though, was how they closed it out. Roman Reigns shows back up, delivers a big-ass spear to LA Knight to close out the program tonight. So I'm excited to see. They gave us a little nibble of it tonight, Dutch. I'm excited to see Roman Reigns, who has grown into one of the best promo guys, and I cannot believe I'm like 7 years ago, you would never have caught me dead.
No, you would have never.
Roman Reigns is
7 years ago. He couldn't put 2 words together.
Roman has grown into one of the
7 years ago
guys. LA Knight is one of the best babyface promos and going in wrestling right now, and a very old. Hell, you want Rock Roman? Here we go. We got LA Knight Roman. It's close enough. Like, the guy's got that old school attitude era feel to him. I'm excited to watch these two trade barbs on the microphone together. I think they're going to work really well with one another.
And that's what you want, because you want people looking forward to. If you're looking forward to them talking and they stay away from touching each other, you want to see that match. And WWE is the world's best at putting it down and making it work.
I do always worry, though, that sometimes LA Knight's promos are better than his matches. And I did feel like there was moments during this main event matchup that the crowd was a lot quieter than I'm used to when LA Knight is in the ring.
Yeah. That's what I was saying earlier, because I felt that attraction kind of fade. I felt like it was fading in the middle of the match. Then it picked up, and Roman and they started all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But, well, we'll see. That's why we play the game.
The match started off sloppy, and I think the crowd kind of picked up on that. Getting the wrap-up signal here. SP3, what you got going on from True Heel Heat this weekend?
The True Hill Heat flagship podcast. We go live at 11:05 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. It will be myself, Miss Chrissy Love, and Top Guy JJ, the OG trio back together. We'll be talking about this week in professional wrestling with the NXT AEW Tuesday Night War, Tony Khan's meltdown, Triple H replacing Vince McMahon, WWE rejecting CM Punk.
I love that.
Talk all about it.
I love Tony Khan meltdown. I love that. So you can catch me, fans, at on YouTube, Storytime with Dutch. This week we uncover the Ric Flair interview that he did, where he was all over the place, and the Hulk Hogan interview, where he just said, "Hell, I've invented everything." I mean, and we picked that apart. So, and we answer fan questions. So it's a good show. Storytime with Dutch on YouTube. Go over there, sign up. We got almost 96,000 subscribers. So I'm trying to get to 100. I'm trying to get to 100,000. So they'll give me some kind of plaque or something. But 100,000 subscribers, that's nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty good.
Not at all.
No, I'd take that tomorrow. Check out my pinned tweet, by the way, right now. If you want a chance to win 2 tickets to AEW Full Gear, November 18th. That's Saturday night at the Kia Forum in Los Angeles. You, especially those people who are out on the West Coast, check out my pinned tweet, retweet it. If you can get to LA that night, I'll get you in the dang door. I'm giving away 2 sets of tickets. So check out my pinned tweet for that contest. You can follow me at Rick Ucchino, like it's spelled on the screen right there. You can catch me tomorrow night from 9 to midnight on 700 WLW Radio in Cincinnati. And then Sunday on Sirius XM, Channel 88 NFL Radio, talking about the Bengals and the Seahawks on their Red Zone channel this weekend. So I'm all over the place. One Stop Shop is the old Twitter page there. Thank you guys so much. Thank you for all the super chats tonight. Thank you for all the comments. I'll try to do better next week to get to more of them. Conversation was really, really good tonight. Until next week when we're back 10:10 Eastern Standard Time. Have a great weekend, everybody.